Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Armed and dangerous, the person police are looking for, who they say shot and killed a DoorDash driver.
Flooding at Duke University Hospital. How healthcare workers are scrambling to take care of patients right now.
And this morning we have a little bit of light rain on radar. There could be more for us coming. We're going to time that out and look at some storm chances for the weekend coming up.
It is 4:30 right now on our Fridays. We welcome you inside our WRAL studio. Glad to have you here as we get things started towards rolling into the weekend here. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Grace Haba.
Anthony Baglione right over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Hey, we're not going to jump ahead towards Sunday just yet. We got to get rid of these showers here today first, right?
Yeah, we're starting off this morning. In fact, as I was out and about this morning, there's a little bit of light mist. Some of the cars had a little bit of couple, raindrops sprinkled on them. That's what we're going to go for here the next couple of hours. Just some spotty light rain coming in from the southwest there. Places like Fayetteville, we've had a little bit come through, even around the Triangle. It is not going to amount to much, but as you're headed out this morning, it may be a little bit damp. And if you're traveling, you may encounter this today. There is more, though, down to the southwest there coming through Wilmington, and that we may see as we go through today. So we'll call it scattered off and on rain today. It's not a washout, but it could be a little bit damp at times. Here's 8 a.m. You can see that coverage is relatively spotty, but we hang on to the cloud cover today. It will be colder than yesterday. We're only looking at highs in the upper 40s today. There's a look at lunchtime, and still, even by the time we get closer to about 5 o'clock, some scattered showers. We do have some storm chances, though, on the way. A new update from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to talk about those here the next time we meet in a few minutes.
Anthony, look forward to it. We have breaking news in the meantime. A McDonald's employee is on the run this morning after police say that person shot and killed a DoorDash driver in Fayetteville. This is who police are looking for right now, 25-year-old Kevin Holland. Officers say he should be considered armed and dangerous. Police tell us the McDonald's worker ran from the scene. It happened around 8:15 last night at the McDonald's on Santa Fe Drive, right near Yadkin Road in Fayetteville. WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there as police investigated this shooting. Police say the man who was killed is 25-year-old Samori Hussamadeen of Fayetteville, and Nick Perlin is on the way to that scene in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. He'll have a live report for us coming up in less than 30 minutes or so.
And we're also following breaking news this morning in Durham, where patients are being sent away from Duke University Hospital after a water pipe burst. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker taken around 2 this morning. You can see water ponding in the parking lot and hospital workers set up outside the emergency room. Duke University Hospital released a statement to us saying parts of the hospital were flooded, including the emergency department. Incoming patients were sent to other nearby hospitals. The hospital says all current patients have been cared for.
Police are searching for a man. Kellen Cuttance is his name. You see him right here. He's wanted for threatening mass violence on school grounds in Durham. In light of the school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin last week, people living nearby are quite alarmed by this. One local elementary school teacher tells WRAL any threat made on school property, followed through with or not, is extremely disruptive to classrooms.
Your safety has to come first. It's in your hierarchy of needs. You have to feel safe in order to be able to do what you want to do in a school, which is to build them up to being responsible humans and caring individuals and critical thinkers.
We have reached out to Durham Police and Durham Public Schools to learn exactly what type of threat of mass violence that entailed and what school property in Durham it was made on. Durham Police are actively looking for Cuttance, and anyone with information on where he may be is asked to contact Crime Stoppers.
A procession is happening today for the Greensboro police officer shot and killed inside of a Food Lion on Monday. The body of Officer Michael Horan will be escorted to Greensboro from Raleigh. That escort will start at 4:30 this afternoon. Several federal, state, and local agencies will be on overpasses along I-40. The escort will end at a funeral home in Greensboro. The man charged with killing Officer Horan made his first court appearance yesterday. This is Terrell McMillan. He was in court over Zoom. He's charged with first-degree murder.
If you're driving today, you're going to want to hit the road early. A lot of folks are making their way home after the holidays or going to visit more family this weekend. AAA predicts the best time to drive today is before 2 p.m. The worst and busiest drive times are expected to be between 3 and 7 p.m.
Well, here's a look at some of the gas prices you can expect to see today. Gas Buddy released these new numbers just after 3 this morning. The current average in North Carolina is $2.85. According to Gas Buddy, the current average in Raleigh is $2.89. The national average is $3.03.
In the Pacific Northwest, people are bracing for wind, rain, and snowy conditions as another atmospheric river takes aim at that region. Some parts of the Sierra saw 8 inches of snow this week. The crews are clearing those roads as holiday travelers return home.
One person died in a crash in Moore County. This happened on Lake Bay Road. You can see here a large police presence. Police say an overturned vehicle had 2 people trapped inside. One person died there at the scene. Another had to be taken to the hospital by helicopter. We're still working to learn exactly what caused this crash and the condition of the person taken to the hospital.
The Azerbaijan Airlines flight that crashed in Kazakhstan may have been downed by a Russian anti-aircraft system. That's according to U.S. officials. They say signs point to a Russian system striking that plane before it crashed, killing 38 people on board. Investigators have recovered a second black box that they hope will shed some light on the cause of the crash. Brazilian authorities and representatives of the plane's manufacturer, Embraer, are expected to arrive in Kazakhstan today to help with that investigation.
A very scary situation when a worker became trapped by electrical wires on a lift 50 feet in the air. What you're looking at is video from the scene last night. You can see that lift smoking heavily. This all happened on Anderson Street off NC Highway 5 in Moore County. Officials say the lift came into contact with a power line, causing a nearby transformer to blow. Luckily, though, a Duke Energy bucket truck was able to lift high enough to rescue that worker, and no injuries were reported.
NC State and ECU football teams are in Annapolis ahead of the Military Bowl. And while they're in Maryland, the team spent the morning practicing and then spent the afternoon at the U.S. Capitol. NC State visited the National Mall, seeing the Lincoln Memorial and the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. NC State and ECU will play in the Military Bowl Saturday. Kickoff for that game 5:45 in the evening.
And the Tar Heels are a little further north. They will play UConn at Fenway Park, home of the Boston Red Sox. The team got a chance to tour the grounds yesterday and were even up on the scoreboard. There it is. UNC will play UConn in the Fenway Bowl. That game is Saturday, December 28th at 11 o'clock.
Weird, it's a football game. They're holding baseball bats. A Utah man steps up to save his brother's life after being caught in an avalanche.
I told him I was on my last breath. I mean, I tried to hold it in as much as I could.
We'll show you the video of that moment that snow was barreling towards those brothers and how they were able to get to safety.
Guilt over gift returns. Why experts say you shouldn't feel bad if you have to exchange a present this year.
Also, we'll give you this live look. This is North Hills right now this morning. Good morning to you if you live or work around that area. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione is tracking some rain for us this weekend, and he will tell us when our next WRAL Weather Alert Day is happening.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
Welcome back. It is 4:41 here on this Friday morning, where we are tracking some light rain chances across the area. We've seen that already in some spots, but it's not going to really amount to much for us today as far as amounts are concerned. But travel could be affected as far as just maybe slowing you down a little bit. Here's 8 o'clock this morning. Notice that coverage is really pretty thin across the area, but still off and on scattered showers for us today. No severe thunderstorms, no strong storms expected. It's just kind of some pesky old light rain that's coming through. You notice by the time we get closer to about 5 o'clock or so, most of us are looking pretty quiet, but that chance is still there. We get into Sunday, though. This is the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. They have basically our entire viewing area under that level 2 out of 5 risk at this point. We could see some strong storms Sunday afternoon.
A man saved his brother's life on Christmas Eve after he triggered an avalanche, trapping his sibling under the snow. Take a look at this. Braden and Hunter Hansen were snowmobiling here in the Franklin Basin. It's in northeastern Utah. They were climbing up to higher ground in a canyon when an avalanche started coming down the hillside, burying Hunter. Braden then quickly activated a beacon that told him where Hunter was. Hunter had been pushed about 150 yards from where he was just moments before.
I could see his
his hand, his gloves kind of poking out, waving. But by the time I got to him, he was about 2 feet, his head was about 2 feet under the snow, and just cleared the snow away from his head and got his helmet off so that he could start breathing again, and then just started digging his body out from there.
And remarkably, Hunter only had minor injuries. He says he's very grateful for his brother's quick thinking. An average of 27 people die in avalanches every year in the United States, according to the Colorado Avalanche Information Center.
4 people found dead in a New Hampshire home on Christmas Day died from suspected carbon monoxide poisoning. This happened in the town of Wakefield, which is close to the Maine border. Officials found the 4 adults when they were called to the home for a welfare check. According to the CDC, more than 400 people die every year in the U.S. from carbon monoxide poisoning. It's a colorless, odorless gas that can come from generators, furnaces, exhaust from other vehicles, and other sources as well. It is important to have working carbon monoxide alarms inside your home to prevent these types of deadly accidents.
Rex Healthcare is now facing a new lawsuit over an employee who says she was fired for refusing to get her COVID vaccine. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission filed it on behalf of Heather Goller. She claims the vaccine requirement was against her religious beliefs and that she had been previously granted exemption from Rex for the flu vaccine. Goller began working remotely during the pandemic and was never asked to return in person. The agency is asking for a jury trial to determine whether Rex should pay Goller for lost wages and other damages.
Finnish authorities have seized an oil tanker linked to Russia as they investigate whether it damaged a Baltic Sea power cable and several data cables. Officials are describing the tanker as part of Russia's shadow fleet of fuel tankers that are trying to evade sanctions on the sale of Russian oil. 3 fiber optic cables linking Finland and Estonia were broken. A 4th internet cable running between Finland and Germany was also severed.
The Israeli Attorney General has now ordered an investigation into Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's wife. An investigation comes on suspicion of Netanyahu's wife harassing political opponents and witnesses in the Israeli leader's corruption trial. A recent report uncovered multiple WhatsApp messages where Sarah Netanyahu apparently instructed a former aide to organize protests against political opponents, as well as intimidate a key witness in the trial.
Former Senator Bob Menendez has asked a judge to postpone the sentencing for his federal corruption convictions. Menendez is asking the court to postpone his sentencing until after his wife's corruption trial ends. The trial for his wife Nadine is expected to begin January 21st, just days before her husband is set to be sentenced January 29th. A lawyer for Menendez cited Nadine's breast cancer treatment in the postponement request. They say sentencing him during his wife's trial will take an emotional toll on both the senator and his family.
Former Time Warner CEO Richard Parsons has died. Parsons led Time Warner's turnaround after a disastrous merger with AOL. He helped slash the company's debt roughly in half. He was later tapped to lead Citigroup after the financial crisis of 2008. Parsons also put his leadership skills in action in pro basketball, where he served as interim CEO of the NBA's LA Clippers in 2014. Parsons was 76 years old.
The season of gift giving is coming to an end and ushering in the season of gift returning. It's full on now. Retailers hope other shoppers will be coming in to return or exchange items and then do some extra shopping as well. It's an effort to recoup losses from an estimated 17% of holiday sales expected to be brought back. Experts say 53% of us get unwanted gifts over the holidays. Valerie Sokolowski has written 8 books about etiquette. She says there is no shame in not keeping an unwanted gift.
Be honest and be tactful. And there's nothing wrong with, if they find out, saying, you know, I want you to know that I so appreciated the gift that you gave me, the heart behind it. What I need to tell you is I wasn't able to use it, and so I was able to exchange it, or I re-gifted it.
Wasn't able to use it. To make the return process smoother, experts suggest checking store policies before you arrive and keep the items in original packaging if possible, processing returns early. Stores are also leaning into Boxing Day and New Year's sales with hopes that shoppers will grab some more items on their return trips.
Well, you can ring in the new year with WRAL Live from downtown Raleigh. Ashley Rowe and Dan Haggerty will bring you all of the fun and excitement from the state's largest New Year's Eve celebration. Music, crowds, and fireworks will help bring 2024 to a close. We'll have live coverage on Fox 50 and WRAL starting at 10 p.m.
Certainly a bit of a bumpy road before we get there weather-wise anyway. Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We could see some sprinkles out there this morning. Pretty chilly.
Yeah, it's chilly. We have a couple light areas of rain on radar right now. Yesterday we hit 51. I don't think we're even going to hit the 50s for a high temperature for us today. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's get us outside here. Here's a look at radar over the past 15 to 20 minutes or so. Really, really light coverage, but it's just mainly to our south there. Fayetteville, for instance, we've seen this kind of batch come through. That's pushing closer to New Bern at this point. There's a little bit more, though, down to the south. And so what I would say as we go through today, scattered rain is going to be a possibility for us. This is not a given that everyone will see the coverage, but it's enough where it could be kind of inconvenient for sure if you get under that and have to deal with it today. We time it out there on Futurecast. You can see generally doing a pretty good job. The cloud cover will be with us all day long. I don't expect much sunshine peeking through. There's a look as we're heading out to about 8 o'clock or so, 9 o'clock, and then we get closer to lunchtime. Again, scattered light rain, really not a lot of coverage showing up here. The bulk of this rain would be back to the west and to our south and west, but that's about what we're looking at. We get into our Sunday, though. Let's talk about this. So this is the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. They put this out here early this morning. They look at all the ingredients in the atmosphere and say what they think potentially is going to happen with a severe risk that they outline. They do have our entire viewing area at this point outlined in a level 2 out of 5. What does that mean for us? I think at this point, if we're going to see some strong storms, it would be potentially some gusty winds. This doesn't look like a big or really any tornado threat at this point. If that changes, I'll let you know. But we timed that system out on Futurecast. Keep in mind, this is not a high resolution model, so we'll fine tune this as we get closer. This is more so for the timing. 8 o'clock in the morning, we're still pretty quiet, and I do think the severe risk is more so confined to the afternoon. Lunchtime, the rain starts to approach our western counties, and then it starts to push through there. I think by the time we get to about 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we'd be looking at the severe threat. And again, if you have anything outside, Christmas decorations that may blow around, that might be a good idea to secure those before Sunday. We're looking at probably about 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts or so. 68 degrees, though, for us on Saturday, upper 60s on Sunday. We head to New Year's Eve with still a slight chance of a shower there on Tuesday.
Thank you, Anthony. A champion on and off the court. How Kay Yow's legacy is helping women battling cancer.
Also, a wallaby on the loose. We'll tell you where Sylvester the wallaby has been spotted after escaping his home.
The late, great NC State's women's basketball coach Kay Yow left a legacy that surpassed all of her victories on the court. Today, her fight with cancer continues to save lives. It was her heroic 22-year fight with breast cancer that inspired her players and fans. Players still remember Yow taking the focus off of her own battle to encourage others. The Kay Yow Cancer Fund awards grants to scientific research and programs to help underserved women so they can gain access to quality cancer care.
And what I'm really impressed about with the Kay Yow Cancer Fund is they deal with all cancers, not just breast cancers.
Through the foundation, $8.7 million will go toward helping women fight cancer. The fund also awards grants for scientific research. The 2025 Celebration Run Walk for the foundation will be held Saturday, February 1st.
A family in Boone has a new place to call home thanks to a generous donation. The nonprofit Emergency RV delivered a camper to the Penley family. They lost their home during Helene. The family was planning to move into a homeless shelter until they received this gift on Christmas Day.
Elphaba and Glinda are flying from movie theaters right to your couch just in time for the new year. Rick Damigella with that story in the Hollywood Minute.
Soon you'll be able to head to the Emerald City without leaving the house. The first Wicked film will be available to purchase or rent digitally beginning New Year's Eve. Fans will also get to experience 3 hours of bonus content, including deleted scenes and a sing-along version of the hit musical.
Doctor, you need to get me home.
The 15th Doctor returns. This is your first look at the next season of Doctor Who, which finds the beloved Time Lord facing a new series of foes. The long-running sci-fi show returns to Disney Plus in 2025. Peppa Pig brings BTS to the preschool set. The popular animated character delivers a cover of the K-pop group's hit song Dynamite that is now available to stream on all platforms. This marks the second cover for the British Piglet, who previously tackled a rendition of Katy Perry's Roar. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
South Carolina officials are on the lookout for an escapee. Sylvester the wallaby is on the run. He was one of a pair of wallabies that were in a petting zoo in Simpsonville, and they managed to break free. The other one, named Creed, has already been captured. Neighbors have reported sightings of Sylvester, but so far he's eluded capture. Now, wallabies are marsupials in the same family as kangaroos, but just smaller. Officials still don't know yet how they got out of their cages.
Flooding at Duke University Hospital. Will show you water outside the entrance of the emergency room as nurses work to move the patients. And a DoorDash driver is dead. A McDonald's employee is on the run. We'll show you the person police are looking for.
And tornadoes cause travel trouble. We'll show you this new video of twisters in Texas.